Whether you're staying at a 5-star luxury resort or a budget-friendly motel, chances are when you go to wash your hands, you'll use one of these. But what happens to these tiny little soaps when we check out? Well, thanks to a recycling plant in Melbourne, these little soaps can go on to make a huge difference.
My job for the last 20 years has been to run a company that specialises in the supply of hotel amenities, shampoos and soaps and various products that you would enjoy in a hotel when you check in. Quite early in my involvement with that in that industry, about 14 years ago, I started to understand the scale of the waste that that industry was contributing to.
As Mike Matalik sought to improve sustainability within his own industry, he learnt that one product in particular was leaving a serious stain on the environment.
Hotel guests had the choice when they were checking into hotels to be able to take their own shampoo and conditioner with them in their luggage, but not many people travel with their own soap. But almost all guests would open that bar of soap that was gifted to them in the hotel room and almost always would leave that bar of soap behind. 80% of the soap that was being discarded from hotels, we could still read the logos on them. So they'd only been used once or twice, guest checks out, leaves it behind, and the hotel would dispose of that waste soap, which would end up in local landfills.
Luckily, Mike knows a thing or two about soap.
Yeah, I mean, I've had the luxury of 40 years of soap making experience in my family. We've always been a soap manufacturer. So after exploring this, understanding this problem and this waste, we were fortunate enough to have the expertise to be able to invent the process of recycling that soap.
Thanks to Mike's expertise, today hotels across Australia and New Zealand can purchase an annual subscription to Soap Aid, a charity devoted to cleaning up this major waste problem.
Our team collects used soap from all guest rooms, and instead of throwing them away in the rubbish, we put them in a recycling box. And once we have collected enough soap, usually every quarter, we would then book a collection with Soap Aid, and they send someone to collect.
We house our Soap Aid recycling equipment and is operated by an organisation called The Bridge, who support people with disability and that are struggling to find employment. We manually sort the soap and visually inspect the soap. We will clean off any foreign bodies that we find. We will remove any packaging that we see.
You have to make sure that it's nothing on it's like a brand new bar.
Then that soap, post-inspection, will be transferred onto our soap recycling line. We break the soap back down into a soap noodle, into a raw material, and then the science of making soap kicks in, which is a combination of getting the moisture of the soap right and the temperature of the soap right, and we stamp and cut that soap into a 100-gram bar of soap at a fraction of the cost of producing a virgin bar of soap.
Over the past 12 years, Soap Aid has reprocessed over 300,000 kilograms of hotel soap. But even more significant than the environmental impact is where those recycled bars end up.
Fundamentally, we have two clear pillars within our organisation. One is quite local, quite domestic. We're saving waste from going to local landfills. And the other often is a long way away, which is to deliver that soap to communities in critical need. It's quite a scary thought that 2/3 of the people on this planet still today live without access to adequate sanitation. I'm a father, I've got 3 young kids, and to also learn that there's still 1.5 million children under the age of 5 dying every year of preventable hygiene disease, the issue is significant. They're much bigger than me and you.
To date, over 3 million Soap Aid bars have been distributed to disadvantaged communities around the world, alongside essential hygiene education resources.
We've sent a lot of soap to Cambodia, to Uganda. Interestingly, we've distributed over 1 million bars of soap within Australia, targeting a very particular bacterial eye disease called trachoma, which is still endemic in various Indigenous communities. By washing hands and limiting illness and sickness and death, children are able to go to school more. which improves their literacy, improves their longer-term life outcomes. By going to school more, parents are able to go to work more often as opposed to staying home looking after sick children, which improves their household income, which can help draw communities out of poverty. The crazy thing here is that if we had 1 million bars of soap today to distribute, we would find a home, and if we had another 1 million bars of soap tomorrow, we would have another home for that. So the demand for soap in these communities far outweighs the potential supply. I think the lesson that we can all take away is that we need to redefine what waste is. You look at something as simple as a waste bar of soap, which for years was getting tossed into local landfills. It's a profoundly effective item to be able to save life. All we've done is simply join the dots from hotel to hands.